right, let's go to Charles in Bakersfield, California. Hey, Charles, how are you?
I'm doing great, Dave and Christy. How are you doing?
Great. How can we help?
Well, I'm calling just a little backstory. This is concerning my mother-in-law. She is 76, a widow, and a while back she took out these two home equity lines of credit, one totaling about $26,800 with a 5.5% interest rate. I think originally this was around $37,000 when she started. Plus there was a second one that she has never used, and that one I believe has a 3.3% interest rate. Her credit union wants to charge her $130 to remove this second home equity line of credit. I'm just trying to figure out, she is retired and getting roughly $1,500 a month in Social Security. What are her options as far as getting out of this mess?
And so there's an open line of credit that has a zero balance, and they just want to charge her $100 to take it off the books.
Yeah.
I would do that in a heartbeat.
Okay.
Yeah, because that takes the gun away from the child.
Okay.
You know, and because if you don't have the thing, you can't use it.
Right.
And so it's worth $130 to get it out of her life because she might make a bad decision,
Yeah.
and
exactly.
run that thing up, and you don't want that to happen for sure.
Okay. Yeah.
So she got a budget where she can live on the $1,500?
Pretty much. She lives with her oldest daughter in their home. It's a fairly large home, but unfortunately her oldest daughter does not work. She was laid off because of COVID-19, and she was a food demonstrator at one of these big membership stores, but they pretty much laid off the whole staff because...
Okay.
So...
What was the line of credit for, the other one that is open with the $26,000 or whatever you said?
That, I believe, was just pretty much for medical bills. She did not have a long-term care insurance policy. Her husband became ill. He had a Parkinson's-like illness, plus he had lung cancer, and he had to go through several treatment facilities just for getting him back in physically good health. And but he's not around anymore, unfortunately. So
okay. Yeah, well, let's just get her set up where she can, not have the temptation to use that, or someone else that's unemployed, like her daughter, doesn't have the temptation to talk her into using it, because the last thing this lady needs is debt with this low an income. And so, I would take that. I'd pay the $130 and get rid of that in a heartbeat. And I'd try to talk them out of charging me to do it, by the way, just for $100 worth of discussion. But it's worth it to get rid of it. I would get rid of it, and then, obviously she's on a tight budget, and we're going to have to help her watch her money and look over her shoulder, and give her some cheerleading advice, not corrective advice, but just cheerleading, and just let her know that you'll help her with the numbers if you can help with putting the budget together and running it. Sometimes people just need a little bit of emotional support.
Let me ask you something on that, Dave, because it's interesting with the in-law relationship. Like, for example, how would he encourage her or help her or even have that conversation with someone that is his in-law versus his own mom? Like, would you advise differently? Because I feel like there's a different relationship there.
It's probably easier than with his own mom, because it's more like a friend.
Okay.
And it's just, I'm just trying to help you.
Yeah.
It's like if Sharon's dad asked me a question, I can certainly tell him, what I think. And I don't have as much emotional as if it was my mom.
Interesting. Okay.
That kind of thing, or my dad, that kind of thing. So it's just, I can sit down and say, well, this is what I do. And, and then if he doesn't do it, it's up to him.
Right.
But I can coach him and cheerlead him along. I think it's probably a little easier. There's no conflict involved here. It's just instruction. Now, where there's conflict, you're going to bring in the relative.
Yeah.